Hi everyone, Jessica Humphreys from EnerJ Optimal Health, your optimal health resource online. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. And today we're going to be talking about sugar and sports, so do stick around. So that's one of the services that we offer at EnerJ, is to help demystify all the complicated information that might be out there online and help you simplify the different health tips so that way you can simply put it into your lifestyle. So if you're just showing up, a little heart, thumbs up, always love knowing who's there. Hi Nicole, I hope you're having a great day. So that's it. So this week we're talking about sugars and demystifying sugar, good sugar, bad sugars. You can go check out our Facebook Live from yesterday where Bruno and I kind of went into demystifying good and bad sugars. And the body, we need sugar. So a lot of times we're hearing, we're going to take out all sugars. You don't need to take out all sugars. You just need to know which sugars are good for your body and which sugars are not good for your body. So today we're going to be talking about sports and sugar, because I have a lot of clients that are asking me that, and they're asking me what should I eat before, during, or after our sports. I'm not going to get into super details, but I do have some information for you today that I got from the American College of Sport. And first, what I want to talk to you about is I did a little Instagram story on EnerJ, and I was talking about snack bars. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people who are sporty or looking for a good snack in between your meals, but it's hard to find something that doesn't have a lot of sugar. So one of the indications that Bruno and I were talking about yesterday is that if you look on the back of a bar, I don't know if I'll be able to get this close, it says the carbohydrates. So en français, c'est les glucides. And there's two categories that go in there. There's fiber, les fibres, and then there's the sugars, so les sucres. So ultimately, in order to have a lower glycemic snack bar, something that's going to sustain you for a longer period of time, you're going to want to look for a bar that has 5 grams of sugar and less, and 5 grams of fiber and more. So it was funny, Bruno and I went grocery shopping yesterday, and we're just going down the commercial aisle, and we were looking at all the bars, and it was so hard to find hardly any bars. Most of them had about 7 to 10 grams of sugar and maybe about 2 to 3 grams of fiber. Hi Catania, if you're joining in. But one of the bars that we love, so these are just one of the ones that you could find, is Kind. So it's the Kind bars, and on these ones they have 5 grams of sugar and 7 grams of fiber. 5 grams of sugar, 7 grams of fiber. Yeah, just want to make sure I said that correctly. So that would be a good option. So I just wanted to talk a little bit, go in a little bit further what we were talking about yesterday, and also what I did on my story. We also recommend another bar. So if you're interested in knowing that, just click low glycemic bar down on the bottom, and I'd love to share that for you. So quickly, I'm going to get into the topic of today, which is sugar and sport, and a reminder that sugar is a source of energy. And it's not the only source of energy that we use for our sports. We also have proteins and we have lipids. Lipids are the fats, so as sources of energy. And even though this is complex, I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritty, all the details, because it depends on what type of sport you're doing, the duration of your sport, how fast you digest food. But I'm going to give you some general guidelines that I took from the American College of Sports Medicine. So if you are doing a sport, and before you do your sport, whether it is your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on what time you do it in the day, 2 to 3 hours, if you're doing your sport, 2 to 3 hours, what you want to make sure that you're eating is protein and complex carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the sugars, so they're the slower sugars, so not the fast sugars. They're the slower sugars. They take a longer time to break down in the body. So an example of this could be the breakfast, or it could be even your lunch, but we put a breakfast example. So it could be a veggie omelet, or unsweetened yogurt with fresh fruit and nuts. So you're getting good protein that's going to sustain you because you're only doing your activity in 2 to 3 hours. And as well as you're having complex carbohydrates that take longer to digest. You're going to have that as fuel later on. So that can come through the fresh fruits and as well as the nuts or the protein. If you're doing it if you're eating 1 hour prior to your physical activity, you can either choose a low glycemic snack bar like we were talking about, or you could have fresh fruits, which are more complex carbohydrates, and 70% or plus chocolate. Isn't that yummy? You can eat a little bit of chocolate. That's something that Bruno and I like to have about an hour before that we go and do any sport. And we're not talking about super long distance sports here. We're just talking about an hour and a half of regular intensity physical activity. So for Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde, what we're doing. And if you need a little bit more specificness, you can always reach out to Bruno and I. So that's before your sport. Now you have during your sport. So water is the best thing. You don't want to be eating while you are doing a sport that's an hour to an hour and a half. And ideally for your water, you want to be drinking your water prior. So you want to be hydrating your body the hour prior to going to your fitness or your whatever activity you're going to be doing, and not drinking lots and lots and lots of water throughout your activity unless it's a longer distance activity. Now, if it's a longer distance activity, you're going to want to have maybe a lower glycemic energy drink. You're going to want to have gels. Try to find low glycemic gels. Yes, they do exist, as well as perhaps a low glycemic bar and fresh fruits. So those are what's going to keep your energy sustained if it was a longer physical activity than an hour and a half, just to keep up the energy. And then after sports, so if you're just joining in, I'm talking about sugars and sports, and I got the information from the American College of Sports Medicine. I just talked about before sport, during sport, and now I'm talking about after sport. So here they say within an hour of completing a long or high intensity activity, find an energy food that provides you with 15 to 25 grams of protein. So we have a tendency to finish off sport and then maybe have a beer, or we finish off our sport and we eat something that's really quick with high sugary. No, we want to get right back into having that protein so that it's going to help you rebuild your fuel, help you rebuild the muscle as well. So 15 to 25 grams of protein. And you will also need to consume 1 to 1.5 grams of complex carbohydrates. So approximately protein and the complex carbohydrates. This will help you replenish your glycogen stores as well as help rebuild your muscle tissue. Rebuilding, like I was saying before. So this kind of gives you like a little bit of an idea of what you can eat prior, what you can do during, and what you can do after. And for sure, if you want more information on this, do reach out to Bruno and I, and then we'd love to help you out to more personalized for you, depending on the sports that you do. And so if you are interested, one of the things I was talking about, I recommended a bar that we like that's more lower glycemic. We also have another recommendation of a bar that we love, and we also have a pre and post meal replacement that does have protein and complex carbohydrates in it, as well as good fats. If you're interested in knowing about those products, please do reach out to us. Again, you can write low glycemic bar or meal replacement down below, and we will reach out to you and give you that information. So hopefully this helped out today, and we're going to continue all week talking about sugars. And pretty much what we want to get you out of today is that sugar is one of the fuels you need for sport. You just have to make sure that you know what kind of sugars to have, and not using lots of simple sugars that you burn really quickly, but then your energy can crash. So we want to go into more complex sugars that are going to give you energy, sustained energy, so that you are ready for your sport. Throughout your sport, you have great energy, and you're able to replenish the body after by rebuilding the tissue and your glycogen stores. So hopefully this was great information for you, and if you think this is interesting, please do share on Facebook. And if you'd like to have more information, more personalized for you, please do reach out to us, because that's what we love, helping you do. All right, have an amazing week, and tomorrow Bruno and I will be back. It will be in French, and we will continue talking about sugars. All right, bye-bye.